The Hi Tech Nomad here, and I want to thank my friend Sean because Sean asked me a question, and as it turns out, the question came at a really good time. Now, my friend Sean asked me, he said, what are you doing to back things up? And I said, well, Sean, I used to have hard drive crashes all the time, and I used to lose data, and it was very, very upsetting. And about, I'm going to say 10, maybe even 15 years ago, really that far back, I bought a unit called a Drobo, and she talked about this Drobo, and basically what it is it looks like what would normally be a RAID box, which is you put 5 or 6 or 7 hard drives in it. However, you can put in any size hard drives that you want. It doesn't make a difference. You just put in whatever size you want, and then you end up with a hard drive that's like a combined total of that minus a margin of error. And this is essentially what I have now. The one I have has been on non-stop since I bought it like 10 or 15 years ago. Okay, so here we have, I think mine's a 4-bay, maybe it's a 5-bay. We'll see in a second. But anyway, you can go as low as a 5-bay system. As you can see, it's a USB. It's a C-type now. You can get ones with Thunderbolt. You can get one that support gigabit Ethernet connections. So basically, you don't even have to have a computer. I have mine. It's an old USB 2.0 or 3.0, I think. Probably 2.0, and it plugs into a computer, and I just keep that computer on all the time, and that's fine. But they have all sorts of different pieces. So why am I talking about this? Why did I get into this today? Why am I doing this video? Well, I did this video because my friend Sean said, he asked me the question, and then I went and took a look, and I realized I'd had a hard drive failure. Yeah, I'd had a hard drive failure. I didn't even know it. And the reason I didn't know it is that when you get a hard drive failure, it sends you an email, but it sent an email to a different account that I haven't been monitoring, so that's how long ago. And as I went and I looked, I was like, oh my goodness, I have a hard drive failure. And the reason I didn't know it is because the way the Drobo works, it just keeps on trucking. It doesn't care that it has a hard drive failure. So you can probably see here, it's actually saying, hey, red alert, Drobo detected a hard drive failure. You need to replace this hard drive with a blinking red light. But you can just keep right on going. So let's just take a look and see. So if I look at status, you can see the other great thing about the Drobo is as you put in larger hard drives, you get more space. So if I want to put in get more space, I just go out and buy a larger hard drive. So every once in a while, maybe I'll be in a store and they'll have a sale on a 4 terabyte drive, which is probably where that 4 terabyte came from. And I was like, you know what, I'll get it and I'll throw it in. So as you can see, these are different manufacturers, these are different size drives, everything's different on them. So I have a 3 terabyte, a 4 terabyte, and 2 terabytes. And you can see one of the 2 terabytes has failed. Now, how is it able to keep running? In fact, if you'll see, it says data protection is in progress. So what it's actually doing is you don't get the whole amount that's in there. So I should have, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I should have like 10 or 11 terabytes, but I don't. And the reason for that is that they spread it out over the 4 drives. It's called like a stripe mode. So it puts a little bit on each drive, and then it tells the other drives about what it has. Basically, that means when I have an issue like this, a hard drive has failed, no big deal. The data is spread out over the other ones, and what it's actually doing right now is it's remapping the data onto the rest of the drives that are working, so that everything is fine and dandy. And like I said, I didn't even know this was going on. I mean, I knew it had this capability, but I did not even realize I had a hard drive failure. And as you can see right now, if I left this alone with that hard drive broken, first of all, it's going to tell me, dude, you can't save too much more. Doesn't mean I can't use it, just means I can't save too much more. I have 144 gigs more that I could still just save to it, and it couldn't care less. It's restriping it, so it's saying if I leave it like this, in 179 hours, it'll be okay. And you're like, are you kidding me? It takes a long time, but I don't have to turn it off. I don't have to do anything different. It'll just keep doing it. Now, as it turns out, I am gonna go and replace this hard drive, and then we'll see that it actually changes and says, okay, oh, I got another hard drive, okay, and it'll change that number again. But the important thing to remember here is I didn't have to do anything. I had a hard drive failure, it's fixing itself, I don't have to do anything. And it can support up to 2 hard drive failures at the same time, which is pretty amazing. So I probably would lose that 144 gigabytes. It would say, look, dude, I'm not taking anything else. We have 2 hard drives here. I need to fix it. So right now, because of the hard drive failure, I have a full capacity of 4.5 terabytes, of which it's saying I have 90. It's full 97%. And again, that's because one of the hard drives was taken out. So that was free space I had. Now, if I had been near 100%, it would have just basically told me, dude, I'm not taking any more data, and you need to fix this. But because I had excess space, it's telling me that I have that. All right, so let's take a look and see what Drobo is saying now. So now you can see, and again, I had an option of a 2 terabyte or 3 terabyte. It was a 3 terabyte for $79, which means when everything is all said and done, I'll actually have some additional free space. So I fixed a hard drive problem and got free space at the same time. So it's now in the process of reorganizing the data across the 4 drives so that I have complete protection from 1 or 2 drive hard failures. Now it does take some time. As you can see now, it says it's going to take about 65 hours to get everything all straightened out. But again, it doesn't make any difference to me because I can just keep using it. I don't have to turn it off. I don't have to disconnect it. None of the data is not accessible during this time. So frankly, I could care less. It could take 65 hours. It could take 65 days. So you can see it says, look, everything's all set. It says, just go ahead and keep doing it while we get things all set up. Let's take a look at capacity now. And it says, hey, you gave me some more a bigger hard drive, so in return you have 4.38 used. You will have an additional 2.8 terabytes available once I actually can start using it now. I don't have to wait, but I'm just saying I will wait a little bit before I put a whole bunch of more data on there, only because it'll take that 69 hours and extrude it out if I give it extra stuff to do. But again, I could use it if I wanted to. Now, just because I use older versions of Windows, sometimes I've made my drive sizes 2 terabytes each, because that was the maximum that I could use with some of these pieces. But I certainly could have a section that was 2 terabytes or 10 terabytes or whatever I want. Again, I can go in at any point in time and change any of these drives. And again, all I have to do is make sure to replace it with a drive of the same size or larger. So obviously the next thing I could do is take out this 2 terabyte, put in another 3, and I'll get another 1.5 terabytes of free space. So again, thanks to my friend Sean for asking me about this.